Hello everyone, my name's Callie Wright and I recently read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green is the latest work of the best-selling young adult author John Green. This novel focuses mainly on Asa and her everyday struggles with OCD and anxiety. For those of you who don't know, OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder and it makes you feel like you're not in control of your own thoughts. Beginning of this book, Asa is sitting in the school cafeteria and it's very difficult for her to focus on a concrete conversation around her because she's just thinking about all the germs and bacteria that are infesting her at that moment. While Asa's mind wanders, Daisy, her best friend, is talking to another friend, Michael. They were talking about Mr. Pickett, who mysteriously went missing after being accused of bribery and fraud. Asa is wondering if she has C. diff, a serious bacterial infection, and she opens a crack in her finger to drain out the bacteria, but then she rebandages it and tries not to worry about it because out of sight, out of mind. After they're done with school for the day, Daisy and Asa decide to head to Applebee's to work on their homework, but that's when they hear on the radio that Mr. Pickett Engineering is offering $100,000 reward to anyone with information on Mr. Pickett's whereabouts. Asa remembers that she knows Mr. Pickett's son, Davis, and the two of them used to be really good friends when they were children. Daisy and Asa decide to sneak onto Pickett property to access a motion-activated camera that might have captured the time and day of Mr. Pickett's disappearance. So the two of them paddle down White River in Asa's canoe in hopes to come about some information on Mr. Pickett. Instead, they meet Davis and their whole plan of coming into fortune is postponed. Davis and Asa rekindle their friendship and eventually become inseparable. Throughout the novel, these three learn more about themselves and what they want in life, but along with that, they learn more about each other. One of the main themes with this book is identity, selfhood, and mental illness. Questions of identity are very common when it comes to coming-of-age novels like this one, but overall, just in real life too. Asa, on the other hand, doesn't just simply ask herself who she is, but she's more consumed by questions about whether she really exists or if she has control over her own thoughts, actions, or even circumstances. The questions are most likely credited towards her OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, which is a mental illness that makes her feel like she's in control of her own thoughts. In this case, Asa conceptualizes her OCD as a demon or her alter ego. Here's a look inside of Asa's mind. And meanwhile, I was thinking that if half the cells inside of you are not you, doesn't that challenge the whole notion of me as a singular pronoun, let alone the author of my fate? These thoughts aren't unusual for Asa, but they can be unusual to people who don't have the same struggles as her. People who don't struggle with OCD typically wouldn't ask in-depth and insightful questions like this, but as for people who do struggle with OCD, these are questions that can occur daily. It may seem insightful to other people, but as for people like Asa, they can feel more trapped inside their own mind with these thoughts. There's also a financial theme going on throughout the duration of the novel. In Turtles All the Way Down, there are a variety of different characters that come from a variety of different financial backgrounds. Davis's family is particularly rich. They collect art, have a golf course on their property, and they even have an on-site sanctuary for Mr. Pickett's pet tuatara, which is basically just an ancient lizard. Asa and her mom are distinctly middle class. Asa's mom works as a high school teacher. Asa has a car, but she doesn't have a job. They essentially just live a normal life, whatever that means. Finally, Daisy works at Chuck E. Cheese's to earn money so that one day she can attend night school. She shares a bedroom with her younger sister and types her Chewbacca fanfiction on her phone because she doesn't have a computer. They all face struggles that money can't solve, and then again, they face struggles that money can solve. So this is where they team up to help each other. Along the way, they learn that wealth can make people blind, but that doesn't have to determine everything about who a person is. But if you're wondering if this book is going to be all about money, it's not. A quote from Asa is here to confirm this. It's just like, this isn't going to be some story where the poor penniless girl gets rich and then realizes that the truth matters more than money and establishes her heroism by going back to being the poor penniless girl, okay? John Green, the author of Turtles All the Way Down, also experiences the same struggle that Asa has gone through. So, he wrote this novel knowing most all that OCD and anxiety has to bring upon. This has been the first novel he has written in a little over 5 years, and it is also a #1 New York bestseller along with many of his other books. You may recognize some of his other books, which are The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, and Abundance of Catherines. John Green and his brother Hank Green have been very successful vloggers on top of writing about what they are passionate about. They have 2 commonly known YouTube channels, Crash Course and Vlog Brothers. Crash Course is very common among students as they have a wide variety of topics where students can get a crash course on. Vlog Brothers is a more personal channel where they give advice speaking on experience or they talk about what's going on in their lives. Personally, I extremely enjoyed this book as I also have experience with anxiety. He described all the feelings and thoughts extremely well so others could feel it too. I've always loved John Green's work, and I think this may have made me fall more in love with John Green's work if that's even possible. I highly encourage everyone to read this book as it broadens our senses and helps people fathom what others are going through. It just helps others be more insightful and more sympathetic to other people and not judging them. Thank you for watching my book talk, and don't forget to read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green.